right, if loving you is wrong, fans. Yeah, it's been quite a while since I talked about the show. I honestly cannot remember the last time I did a video on this subject aside from my interview with Dr. Rastin about a month or so ago. But during my live stream last night, someone gave me the idea, and if you're the person who gave me the idea, you can make yourself known in the comments. I actually jotted down your comment, but I forgot to thank you by your name. But in any case, this was not my idea, the concept of it. So just to put it out there, it just came from a great discussion with my followers. So before going further into the video, go ahead and hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and hit all and allow all notifications, because it is sad that only 15% of my subscribers have actually done this, and darn near 75% of my views come from non-subscribers. So when I do live streams or post new videos, I want you to know about it. So that's why you need to do those things. And follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Now, for this particular video, again, guys, if loving you is wrong is not coming back, there's been no talks about it. This is just a fun idea. Maybe I'll do like a random if loving you is wrong video every now and then, not to kind of, I guess you could say spread false hope, but kind of go into details about certain things that fans would like to see play out that we didn't get to see play out in the final season, I remember doing videos about, like, oh, here's some things that were never followed up on, never, storylines or characters who never came back to, finalize their arcs. But this one, I just never thought about it. Like with Randall being dead, I thought that was pretty much it. Meh, he's dead, doesn't matter. But the question of the day is, Jeremy, what if Marcie went to Randall's funeral? That's a very, very, very interesting concept. Now, I'm not an expert when it comes to this kind of thing, but given the fact that his damn head was bashed in, I dare say that even with the funeral home and the coroner and everything, they would probably not have an open casket funeral. And it just reminds me, again, I love Edgar Allan. It's kind of ironic how I despise horror films or anything like gory, but I will read the hell out of an Edgar Allan Poe story or a poem. It's weird. But all I can think about is the Telltale Heart, like the one guy that like killed the old dude he was the caretaker for, and then buried the body underneath the floorboards. Then when the police came, mentally he was like hearing the scratching underneath the floorboards, and he ripped it all up and exposed the body, pretty much, admitting to being a murderer. So in any case, I remember talking about how Randall's death could affect Marcie in many ways because he was a manipulator, the king of all mind games. So imagine Marcie, at the end of the day, remember, Alex got arrested for the murder. So, I mean, there's no telling what would happen in the funeral. Like, imagine Randall's mother coming back. She's distraught over the loss of her son, and Marcie has to play like she didn't do it. She's crying, my son, what happened? He was killed. Oh, he was messing around with that white woman. That's what happened. And she did this. And can you imagine Marcie? I feel like Brad would still be like, Marcie, it's okay. Just forget about it. Let it go. But Marcie, I feel like she would just dip into madness. She would probably just drink. And I don't know. I feel like she would show up to the funeral, because even though I could see why Marcie would not want to go, Randall's mother, Lorraine, look, I forgot her name. I honestly have, because I've mentally checked out of If Loving You Is Wrong for a while now. So I forgot her name, but Randall's mother's, that she would be like, look, I know that you and my son have problems, but it would really mean a lot to me if you could be there for me, because it makes sense. Because remember how Randall's mom was the only one in Marcie's corner when she came to visit. I mean, obviously her and Marcie were not always on good terms, but eventually she came around. So you just think about like, Marcie being there when she was in the hospital and everything. So I feel like Marcie would be there even though she doesn't want to be. And then you could just like, how Tyler Perry did the flashbacks recently with Veronica? I feel like he would probably do the same thing with Marcie, where it's just like, you know, while the pastor or whoever's speaking, matter like, who would go to the funeral if that were the case? You know, if Eddie's still alive, I think he would go just to raise hell. I feel like I feel like everybody would be there. You know, I mean, I feel like they would have to be there. Damn, that's right. You know, imagine Larry's dead. If he's still, you know, imagine he isn't dead. Like he could be resuscitated, but they said he was supposed to lose his leg. So just imagine him in a wheelchair or whatever. And then, you know, Mandy's there. It would be wild, guys. Okay, this is crazy. Now I really want a season 6 because Tyler Perry could just tear this thing up. This could be epic. And I could say like the pastor up there, and then Marcie's going through like different things. Like imagine this. Imagine the pastor's talking this, like it not just Natalie. I mean, not just Marcie, but imagine almost every other character. Like, you know, Natalie's sitting there with Lucian, and they're both kind of reminiscing about, you know, all the hell that Randall caused the neighborhood, and then, you know, Kelly and Esperance. And the list goes on. Like everybody has their moment, but of course it's all going to be Marcie thinking about all the times where Randall made life a living hell for her, you know, taunted her, mocked her, cheated on her. And then when the pastor's kind of wrapping up, and like I could hear, you know, just imagine Marcie hearing Randall's voice from the coffin. And then like imagine Marcie has a mental breakdown or something. I could go on and on. This would be such an interesting concept because once again, it goes right back to what I've been saying all the time. Like, you could kill off a character like Veronica on the Haves and the Have-Nots, but if done right, the show would still be amazing because the characters would still be dealing with the consequences of what she was doing. Like, basically everything Veronica had done in terms of like the contingency plans to make life hell for them, they would have to deal with the weight of those contingencies, and it would not be something that they could just easily shake off. Her impact on their lives would still be felt even from the grave. And I know it would suck for a lot of fans, but at the same time, it could really, really show Tyler Perry's writing chops. So I feel like the same thing done with Randall. You know, Randall being killed off, but at the end of the day, look at all the hell that's been raised in less than 40 minutes when he was dead. You know, Brad and Marcie trying to cover it up. Marcie's dealing with the, you know, emotional baggage of that. Alex getting arrested, even though it makes no sense how they could pin it on her. But again, this is Tyler Perry land, so she will probably be in jail for a while. So imagine that. Randall's funeral. Who would be there? How do you think it would go down? Do you think Marcie would have a breakdown? And Randall's mother would just be the icing on the cake. So, I mean, that would be something else. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are there any other, like, you know, if Loving You Is Wrong, season 6 what ifs you would like me to delve into? Like, hey, Jeremy, here's one thing that wasn't touched upon in the finale that I would love to see play out if there were a season 6. But I don't know if there's anything. You can let me know if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's anything that could top the Randall funeral. Unless you talk about an Eddie funeral, but Lord have mercy. Whew, that would be hell in a handbasket right there. So with that being said, guys, please hit that notification bell because I really want to get my watch time up when it comes to my subscribers, not just non-subscribers. But hey, if you're a non-subscriber right now and you're watching the video, thanks, but make sure you hit subscribe. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal, Cash App, or join Patreon for as little as $1 a month.